Recently, I was going through YouTube and stumbled upon this video. IMMO342 makes 100k off LTG, or LowTierGod. Now, being on the internet, I've of course heard of LowTierGod.
You should kill yourself now.
But somebody making $100,000 off of him sounded insane. But after watching the video, it is true. This streamer named IMMO342 made a collective $100,000 off of restreaming LowTierGod streams. He doesn't play any video games, doesn't turn on a face cam, and at most changes filters on his face. And this guy made an insane amount of money off of him. My first question was just, how? How did so many people collectively hate LowTierGod to the extent of donating mass amounts of money to a stream literally clowning him? So then, I decided to do my research and delve into the rabbit hole of LowTierGod. And I can say with certainty, it's rare to see a person so hateful, despicable, and like how Kai Cenat said,
"Yo, this nigga looks like a supervillain."
So today, we aren't going to be talking about LowTierGod, the shit talker who beefs with everybody. We're talking about the man himself, Dale Emmanuel Wilson, his crimes, and how he went from a popular streamer into a LolCow. The way we are categorizing Dale's crimes is in chapters. Again, we aren't just talking about the countless times he's banned someone in their chat for saying something stupid.
How to not enjoy a game? Well, let me tell you this. I enjoy lots of games. Every time we go over your mom,
we're talking about the morally wrong situations where he has hurt others. If you are a LowTierGod expert and I get any information wrong or missing some juicy details, please let me know in the comments. For some reason, it's really hard to find centralized information on this guy. There is a lot of piss jugs we have to siphon through today, but before we get into it, I'm going to ask you to hit that subscribe button as I'm really trying to hit 1k subscribers by the end of the year. I also just opened up channel memberships, so if you ever feel like being a sugar daddy, sign up for one of those. No matter what tier you subscribe on, you'll get a verbal shout out in every video. LowTierGod has always been an extreme shit talker. Heck, if you search up shit talker in the dictionary, his picture takes up half the page. A lot of times people would take this as harmless banter, or maybe since that's what he's known for, he just blows it out of proportion. Nowadays, we can easily tell it's because he has an extremely fragile ego. One of the first times we got a true insight on Dale's real character was the Broly Legs incident. Michael Philip Begum, or Broly Legs, was the disabled pro Street Fighter player. Michael had a condition called arthrogryposis. In short, this is a condition where during development, the brain cuts off communication with specific muscles and joints of the body, which extremely hinders growth. Because of this, Michael's main movements are rolling around and moving his neck and head, and even with these conditions, he became a professional Street Fighter player. No, he's not eating the controller, he's actually learned to play the game with his mouth. This of course is an amazing feat, and Broly Legs became a huge inspiration. At the end of the day, we're all playing video games and just trying to have some fun and be brought together as a community. However, some people don't feel this way. In 2017, LowTierGod was streaming on YouTube and ran into Broly Legs while playing Street Fighter. After some matches, Broly Legs was absolutely bodying Dale. Dale then referred to Broly Legs as a krang-ass motherfucker, which is a character from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles who is just a sentient brain. So I guess the insult is that Broly Legs is just a sentient brain? I don't know about you, but this verse is honestly kinda dog.
I gotta face this fucking Krang motherfucker. I really just don't see how this Krang-ass motherfucker could even do any of this shit. Not respecting this dude, period. I don't give a fuck what match he posted. This motherfucker's a fucking worthless human being. Worthless piece of specimen. He could put whatever the fuck he wants. No one gives a fuck about no goddamn Broly Legs. Stop even saying legs. Just call, why even call him Broly? The fuck out of here. That's a disgrace to DBZ. Give a fuck about this ugly slobbering ass motherfucker put on Twitter. Motherfuckers fiending for attention. Of course I'm gonna rage quit if I feel like you didn't deserve the...
Afterwards, Broly Leg played the disrespectful comment off really well by offering LowTierGod training sessions and promoting their game coaching. Now, maybe at this point you could say this was all in good fun and just shit talking, but there is no defending what LowTierGod said next.
I don't give a fuck what that ugly ass slobbering half of a man is saying. I'm not gonna do anything to give that ugly worthless specimen anything to gain any type of notoriety to his pity name. No one gives a fuck about that slobbering ass motherfucker. So who gives a goddamn? If you want to talk shit, then you can get clowned like you're an actual full human being. So no, I don't give a fuck about some disgusting deformity talking shit. That's all he can do is talk.
Yeah, I don't care what you say, that was extremely disgusting. However, after this incident, nobody really called him out for what he said. Broly Legs never ended up responding and people just let it slide. I feel like this is a good starting point in Dale's decline into starting to become a LolCow. This is some definitive proof that this guy is not a good guy and is willing to just talk shit and just say whatever he wants just for the ego and attention rather than what's morally correct. However, if you think this is the worst of Dale's shit talking, you haven't seen anything yet. Sarah Blast is an extremely high-level Street Fighter player, and in 2020 they announced that they are non-binary trans and prefer she, her, and they, them pronouns, as well as began presenting more feminine. This was met with not much attention, and people celebrated Sarah Blast for being open and comfortable with themselves. A few months after this announcement, LowTierGod was streaming and ran into Sarah Blast on matchmaking, and very similar to the Broly situation, got absolutely beat down. Afterwards, LowTierGod ends up rage quitting and goes on a rant that can only be dubbed as just straight up hate speech. Sadly, I cannot show this clip uncensored and unedited, as in this rant Dale uses slurs towards the LGBT community. If you want to see the uncensored version, it's not hard to find.
Fucking That's exactly why I got this dude blacklisted. He ain't trans, he didn't fucking get his dick slit, he ain't got the balls for that. If you're a real transsexual, cross-dresser, whatever the fuck you want to call it, get your dick slipped. Stop being scary. How you gonna go 50%? If you really about that life, get your dick split like a fucking hot dog, let them tuck it in, make a pussy and a clitoris out of your dick. Scary ass motherfucker. While you sitting here playing Street Fighter, bitch. Playing that shit 24/7. Really be about that life and really get your dick split and turned into a vagina. How the fuck you gonna go halfway? If you really gonna do it, actually get your dick turned into a fucking vagina. How you gonna want to be a woman, right, but still keep your dick? Nah, you don't get to do that. If you really want to be a chick, get your dick turned into a fucking augmented vag. Stop with the falsifying bullshit, trying to have the LGBT community on your side as a quick way to get views and shit. I'm not falling for it.
This clip garnered a lot of attention. If the Broly Legs incident wasn't proof of Dale being a terrible person, I hope this is. Of course, you had the fanboys who were saying it was just shit talking, or just straight up transphobic people who didn't see the problem with what Dale said. But a large amount of people were quick to call out Dale, with him himself even deleting the stream VOD quickly afterwards. The biggest repercussion that came from this was the fact that LowTierGod was banned from EVO, which is the biggest fighting game tournament in the entire world. A lot of people shat back at this and said, well, that's stupid, LowTierGod doesn't even play competitively, he doesn't do tournaments. But that misses the whole point. As I mentioned before, fighting games are all about the community. We're all bonding and having fun with a game we all love. And in order to play a multiplayer game, you need multiple players. So being banned from the world's biggest fighting game tournament is not just not being able to compete in an esport, it's being completely rejected by the community. Now at this point, if you still think that Dale is just shit talking, you're a bad person. However, let's just pretend yes, all of this has been shit talking. If that was the case, we have still only scratched the surface on what makes Dale a LolCow. Dale is incredibly edgy, and of course his community matches that as well. It kind of reminds me of other communities that are like the same, like EDP and some other ones that are like that. Now a lot of times what ends up happening is these people are just uncancelable. They could say the most heinous things ever, nobody would bat an eye. However, there is one thing you can get canceled for and never come back from. Something so heinous, so despicable, and you're probably thinking about it before I even said it.
Where it intrigues you, where you something that's a little younger, you something, you coach, you develop a woman into your liking without engaging in any type of sexual contact, but sort of mentally that woman who is untouched and untainted into the world, a non-tarnished penny. You ever just took a dirty penny and tossed it away? And then you see a shiny penny and you want to keep it and you want to save it? That's how Drake feels about women that are tarnished. Most women that you run into are going to be tarnished pennies. It is very rare to find. It is very rare to see in general a penny that is say, you know what? I want that one shiny, brand new penny, and I'm gonna keep that in my pocket for years, for 4+ years, if I have to. And then when that penny is at its prime age or prime date, I'm going to take that penny and cherish it. Now, if you did not understand that, I feel sorry for your brain.
What you just watched was a video of Dale defending Drake and using pennies as a metaphor for women. Now, just this by itself is already incriminating, as this thought process and belief system is just absolutely disgusting and wrong on so many levels. But that's not the only thing that makes Dale a groomer. What makes Dale a groomer is the fact that he has groomed someone.
Shit. So basically this game is based...
Did I hit face? It was an accident.
Go fuck off me, man. The fuck?
The girl in that video is Elena, who is now Dale's ex-girlfriend. For a period of time, Dale would frequently have his girlfriend on stream to hang out and interact with, and there were a lot of, moments.
For laughing at the shit.
I'm
Ain't nothing funny. You quiet! You fucking up my motherfucking match! The fuck wrong with you, dude?
But we'll talk about that later. The most important thing to know with Elena is the fact that she and Dale have an insane age gap, and how this was all found out was absolutely insane. The first thing we have to note is Dale's age. Now, this is a hot topic and a wild goose chase because for a long time, we did not know Dale's age. Even though birth certificates are public record in California, where LowTierGod lives, Dale has done a lot of work to make sure nobody finds out about his real name, even lying about his real name on his Twitter and other social media platforms. However, it's obviously really hard to hide your government name, especially when you trademark the name LowTierGod and it shows your government name under the trademark. Even with a lot of this information being public knowledge, he still actively denies his age, name, and birthday. However, we do know for certain Dale's age is 40 years old at the time of recording this video, and we'll get into why we know it for certain later. Now, the reason his age is so important is because of this clip.
The fuck is your problem?
What?
The hell is your problem?
You just want to show me what you prioritize.
You gotta be fucking kidding me. Ain't nobody prioritizing shit. It's a goddamn couple of days at Eva.
You didn't even read what they said.
What, on Instagram? I did read it about the whole Valentine's Day thing and all that. Why would you block me on Instagram? You're just acting way too extra for no fucking reason.
Because Friday is our 4th year anniversary.
I don't know why you would do this a day before.
Everything.
What? What? You're fucking inconsiderate ass fucking child?
Now, other than the fact that he's raising his voice and yelling at his girlfriend who is crying, again, we'll get into that later, Elena mentions that it's their 4-year anniversary coming up, and that Dale is choosing to go to Evo rather than spend the time with her. I know, it's hard to believe this guy is 40 years old when he's making childish ass decisions like that, but let's actually think about that a bit more. Their 4-year anniversary? How old is Elena? Well, while they were in a relationship, Dale was nice enough to plug Elena's social media, and of course, even after they broke up, trolls and fans would still keep up with her life and report it to Dale to get reactions out of him. This was very obvious, especially when Elena dated another guy after their breakup. But the most important thing is one specific post. For whatever reason, Elena never actually made their birthday public on social media, nor did anyone feel the need to dig into it. I mean, if she was a minor, Dale wouldn't have just showed them on stream. In 2022, Elena made a birthday post saying she was surprised that she never actually mentioned her age, but that she was turning 25. We now officially know that Dale's birthday is November 19th, 1984, which means that if we do a little bit of math, these two have a 12-year age difference. Holy shit. But wait, if you remember from the last clip, Elena mentioned that their 4-year anniversary was coming up, and that clip was in 2014. Well, again, if we do the simple math, we find out that their 4-year anniversary started when Dale was 29 years old and she was 17. Now, if you are well versed in the LowTierGod lore, you know that some people defend this by referencing the video that LowTierGod posted after they broke up. In this clip, she is specifically referring to the anniversary mentioned in the clip where Dale forgot to mute his mic.
And it was the day we met. It wasn't our anniversary, it was the day we met. Every time that day comes around, I kind of like...
Now, there's a lot of speculation on this specific part of the video. The biggest theory is that she's just straight up lying to protect Dale, because at this point, they were on good terms after they broke up. Also, because this is a grooming situation and there's a huge age difference, there's definitely a power dynamic going on here. So I would also be scared of telling the truth around this guy. But sure, let's pretend that the anniversary is the day they met. I don't know who does that, but let's just pretend. Well, look at this clip.
So I had like a 3-hour break in between my classes, and he would come to my school.
I used to ditch my college.
He used to ditch his class to come see me at 9 in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, just to come see me, and then we would hang out at the park.
In that clip, she mentions how Dale would visit her when she started college. Now, I don't support this kind of document digging, but of course, after Elena's age was found out, people started investigating way more. If we go by what Elena said in the video where their anniversary was the day they met around August 3rd. Elena started college at August 18th. Her birthday is 3 months after August, so even if what she said is true, and their anniversary was the day they met, this would still mean that Dale was 29, hanging out with a 17-year-old. An important thing to note is that Elena has never actually outed Dale for these actions or called him out as a groomer. Now, there's a myriad of reasons for this. I think the main one being just the fact that when you call someone out for something like this, it brings a bunch of attention on you and on an emotional situation. However, she did confirm it slightly. After a lot of this information became public knowledge, Elena posted this on her story, responding to a post where they were trying to warn younger women about older men, and she leaves a message under this saying, "Wish I knew this earlier." Elena had also said in the past that Dale was her first actual relationship partner, so it's not too hard to connect the dots on that. Now, I've already shown a few clips before in the last section about Dale being abusive towards Elena, whether that be him raising his voice, calling her names, or just straight up yelling. And there is a bunch more of this. I don't want to put y'all through an abuse compilation, but just know this was one of those things that they were literally known for doing on stream. Now, of course, as I mentioned before with the age difference and power dynamic, it's really unsettling to see these two arguing and fighting on stream. Imagine what they're doing behind closed doors. But this isn't what makes LowTierGod an abuser. And now it's finally time we get to the fun section where new stuff has just come out about LowTierGod. Strap in, because if you've seen videos before, I guarantee you've probably not seen this information. It is now the recent year 2024. Even after all of this stuff that Dale has done, he still has a fan base of viewers. But now more than ever, he has a huge fan base of trolls. This is when IMMO342 comes into play, the guy I mentioned at the beginning of this video. One day while IMMO342 was streaming, a guy came into this chat claiming that he broke into LowTierGod's credit account. Now, at first people thought this was an absolute troll, but then the guy leaked his information and a bunch of people were swarming his personal documents. First was the credit account, and then a bunch of other personal shit. A lot of information was found out through this security breach, such as that Dale has $121,000 worth of debt, and also confirmation on his birthday and address. However, hiding under all these documents was a small little thing. A restraining order on the grounds of domestic violence all the way back in 2005. Now, at first this was completely disregarded. Again, the leak was just new and we didn't even know if this information was true. But after LowTierGod himself admitted that his account was breached, we knew that this was real. Now, it's interesting because the woman in the restraining order was someone that we've never heard of before, and of course Dale is not just going to admit to this. So overall, we just know that somewhere he hit a woman and they just got a restraining order on them. Now, all the information I've shown in this video is already enough to completely destroy this guy's reputation. However, there is one thing in the leak that absolutely no one expected. Something that no one even guessed. Something that no one even expected. Something that no one even made jokes about. Dale had a kid. After all these documents were leaked, there was a very strange thing people found. A certain case that was opened and closed from a law firm. To keep things super simple, it was a law firm making sure that people pay for cases that were ran through in court. So if you injured me and I sued you and you had to pay me $1 million, these are the people that made sure you paid the money. Or just totally hypothetically, if you were supposed to pay me child support and you didn't, these guys would fix that as well. And that is how we ended up finding out about Dale's child. Now, Dale of course has never mentioned a child, but they did mention how much they would hate their hypothetical daughter. For instance, look at this video. This was uploaded 2 years ago and it's an hour-long compilation of Dale hating on their hypothetical daughter. We didn't find out about this information till this year in 2024, just a few months ago.
If she wants to have a boyfriend, it's her choice. I don't know what kind of guy you are. You're definitely not an alpha talking like that. I don't give a fuck if it's a nice nigga or what. He's still digging your daughter out. To me, like I said, once my daughter decides to fuck, if I have a daughter one day and once she decides to fuck, our relationship is over. Because I taught you everything you needed to know about men and everything. Once you fuck a nigga and go into womanhood, I ain't got nothing else to talk to you about.
It's safe to speculate because Dale is paying child support that he's not in his daughter's lives. But actually, we don't have to speculate. We have the mother's side of the story. The mother of the child is very open and active on the internet, and even gracious enough to do a few interviews with other channels. I honestly really commend her for this. If I was her, I'd probably stay away from this guy, especially because all the attention and things he brings. The story goes that they met, they had, as Dale calls it, casual sex, and Dale's pull-out game sucks, and out comes a baby. This casual sex part is very important because the main reason why Dale doesn't consider his daughter is because she was a product of casual sex. Yeah, I also forgot to mention that Dale is also very like Andrew Tate and hyper masculinity brain, if you couldn't already tell. It's honestly so sad to see how much this guy has hurt the people around him. Again, in this video, I chose just to talk about his crime specifically. Even in the content creation field and his personal life, this man just can't get along with anybody or make any friends. From being rude and bigoted, to hurting the women around him, and even stripping away a little girl's chance to grow up in a nice household with a loving father. Dale really is scum of the earth. Which is why nowadays you see streams like IMMO342. Someone who can really get this Dale hate train centralized and also spread awareness on how horrible this guy is and how he just doesn't deserve a platform and fans. Well, I guess fans is the wrong way to say it. Apparently 80% of his donations and subs is just from 2 people who just love dick riding him. LowTierGod will continue making content and being a horrible person probably until he dies. However, he won't be enamored and loved, he'll be made fun of and milked like a LolCow. I hope this video helped you understand why Dale is not a good person. Again, I have a small channel, not too much reach, but again, this guy just has a huge platform which he doesn't deserve. Again, I have a small channel, so if you haven't watched this far, I really would appreciate a like or subscribe, or even just a nice comment, or a hate comment. Just let me know how you feel about this whole situation. Thank you all for watching, I hope you have an amazing day.